Alright, let's get real for a second. We all know that great intimacy goes beyond just the physical. It's about connection, trust, and bringing your best self into the moment. Today, I'm going to break down 3 expert moves that not only show you know what you're doing, but they'll leave him completely mesmerized. It's about making your moves with intention, confidence, and precision. By the end of this talk, you'll be equipped with the skills to elevate any encounter and drive him wild. Let's get into it. Toning your moves starts with recognizing that confidence is one of the most magnetic qualities a person can have. It's not about perfection or following a rigid set of rules. It's about feeling comfortable in your own skin, trusting your instincts, and knowing that you are worthy of pleasure and connection. When you approach intimacy with self-assurance, it creates an atmosphere where both you and your partner can feel safe, open, and excited to explore. The confidence you bring into the moment speaks louder than any technique or trick ever could. It's the foundation upon which every successful interaction is built. Being confident means letting go of any doubts or insecurities that may try to creep in. Maybe you've heard stories about how it's supposed to be done, or felt pressure to perform a certain way to satisfy your partner. But the truth is, intimacy isn't a one-size-fits-all experience. It's deeply personal, and what works perfectly for one couple might not work for another. When you own your moves, you stop comparing yourself to others and start focusing on what feels right for you and your partner. This shift in mindset helps you relax, enjoy the experience, and express your genuine self. When you're confident, you naturally become more in tune with your own body. You begin to understand what brings you joy and satisfaction, which in turn helps you better understand what might please your partner. Self-awareness is a huge part of owning your moves because it allows you to communicate more clearly, both verbally and through your actions. You don't have to be shy about expressing what you want or need. Confidence gives you permission to do so. This honest communication enhances intimacy and creates a positive feedback loop where both partners feel heard, seen, and appreciated. Being present in the moment is another crucial element of owning your moves. It's easy to get distracted by worries, doubts, or the endless mental chatter that can pop up when you're trying to perform. But when you practice mindfulness and focus fully on the experience, you unlock a deeper level of connection. Presence means tuning into your senses, feeling the textures, noticing the sounds, and observing the subtle reactions from your partner. It's about giving your full attention without judgment or expectation. This state of mindfulness heightens pleasure because you're not caught up in the past or future. You're fully engaged in what's happening right now. Being present also means you can respond intuitively to your partner's needs. Instead of sticking rigidly to a plan or technique, you're able to adapt based on the feedback you're receiving in real time. This flexibility is what makes your moves truly expert level. It's about reading the small cues, a quick intake of breath, a gentle touch, a change in body language, and adjusting your approach accordingly. When you're in tune with your partner's responses, it's easier to find that sweet spot that drives him crazy, creating a shared experience that feels effortless and natural. Embracing self-assurance requires cultivating a positive mindset about your sexuality and your role as a lover. Too often, cultural messages can make us feel ashamed or uncertain about expressing desire or pleasure openly. Overcoming these internal barriers is a powerful step toward owning your moves. When you allow yourself to feel proud and excited about your sexual energy, it radiates outward and invites your partner to share in that enthusiasm. Confidence isn't just something you have, it's something you project, and it changes the dynamic of the entire experience. It's important to remember that confidence is a skill you build over time. It doesn't mean you have to feel 100% sure of yourself all the time. Instead, it's about showing up anyway, with curiosity and a willingness to learn and explore. Every experience, even those that don't go perfectly, is an opportunity to grow. The more you practice owning your moves, the more natural and effortless it becomes. This growth mindset removes the pressure to be flawless and replaces it with a sense of adventure and self-compassion. In practical terms, owning your moves means being proactive rather than reactive. You take the lead by setting the tone and creating an environment where intimacy can thrive. This might include communicating openly about what you like, experimenting with different techniques, or simply allowing yourself to be playful and spontaneous. Confidence invites creativity, and creativity fuels passion. When you're confident enough to try new things without fear of judgment, you open the door to experiences that are both exciting and deeply fulfilling. It also means honoring your boundaries and preferences. True self-assurance includes the ability to say no when something doesn't feel right, and to assert what you're comfortable with. Respecting yourself in this way builds mutual respect in the relationship. When both partners feel safe expressing their limits and desires, the connection becomes stronger and more authentic. Owning your moves isn't about pleasing at all costs, it's about creating pleasure that feels good for everyone involved. Another way confidence shows up is in your body language. How you carry yourself, the way you make eye contact, and your facial expressions all communicate volumes without a word being spoken. When you're confident, your body sends signals of openness and attraction that are incredibly alluring. This nonverbal communication deepens intimacy because it shows your partner that you're fully engaged and invested in the experience. Being aware of and embracing these subtle cues enhances your presence and amplifies the emotional connection. Self-assurance also allows you to embrace vulnerability. At first, this might sound contradictory. How can being vulnerable be a sign of confidence? But true confidence includes the courage to be authentic and open, even when it feels scary. Vulnerability breaks down barriers and fosters trust. It's in those moments of genuine connection that passion ignites and intimacy flourishes. When you own your moves, you're not just performing, you're sharing a part of yourself in a way that invites your partner to do the same. This mindset transforms the experience from a mechanical act into a shared journey of pleasure and discovery. It shifts the focus away from doing it right and toward mutual enjoyment. When you embrace self-assurance, you create space for both you and your partner to relax, explore, and enjoy without pressure or fear of failure. This positive energy creates a feedback loop that makes every encounter more satisfying and memorable. Confidence also helps you recover gracefully from any missteps or awkward moments. Nobody is perfect, and intimacy sometimes comes with unexpected surprises or moments of uncertainty. When you own your moves, you don't let a small slip-up shake your self-esteem or derail the experience. Instead, you approach it with humor, kindness, and a willingness to adapt. This resilience not only keeps the mood light, but also deepens the trust between you and your partner. Embracing your own sexual power can also impact other areas of your life. When you feel confident and assured in intimate moments, it often spills over into your daily interactions, boosting your overall self-esteem and sense of empowerment. This ripple effect makes you more magnetic, more assertive, and more comfortable expressing yourself in all kinds of settings. Owning your moves isn't just about intimacy, it's about stepping fully into your authentic self. Another critical part of owning your moves is being curious and open-minded. Confidence doesn't mean you have to know everything or be an expert right away. It means being willing to learn, experiment, and grow. Approach each experience with a sense of curiosity and playfulness. Ask your partner for feedback, try new techniques, and pay attention to what works best for both of you. This openness keeps the connection fresh and exciting, and helps build your confidence through positive reinforcement. It's also worth noting that owning your moves is about balance. Confidence without attentiveness can come across as arrogant or insensitive. Being present without confidence can feel hesitant or unsure. The magic happens when these qualities come together, when you bring your full self to the moment with both assurance and awareness. This balance creates a magnetic energy that draws your partner in and makes the experience deeply satisfying. Taking time to prepare mentally and physically can boost your confidence as well. This might mean taking care of your body through self-care routines, practicing relaxation techniques to calm nerves, or simply setting the intention to be fully present. When you feel good in your body and mind, it's easier to step into intimacy with confidence and joy. Preparation isn't about perfection. It's about creating a foundation that supports your best self. Remember, owning your moves also means celebrating your uniqueness. Everyone's style and rhythm are different, and that's what makes intimacy beautiful. When you stop trying to imitate others and start embracing your own natural flow, you become more authentic and irresistible. Your partner is drawn not just to your techniques, but to the real you, the one who owns her power and presence with pride. Lastly, owning your moves is an ongoing journey. Confidence builds and deepens over time as you gain experience, learn more about yourself and your partner, and continue to grow. Each encounter is an opportunity to strengthen your connection, build trust, and deepen your pleasure. Embracing this process with patience and kindness toward yourself allows you to enjoy every step of the way. Paying close attention to your partner's cues is one of the most essential and transformative aspects of intimacy. It's about developing a deep sensitivity to the subtle signals that communicate what feels good, what doesn't, and what might be desired next. These cues can come in many forms: body language, breathing patterns, facial expressions, sounds, or shifts in tension and relaxation. When you tune into these details, you move beyond simply performing actions to creating an experience that feels alive, responsive, and uniquely tailored to your partner's pleasure. The beauty of paying attention to your partner's cues lies in its immediacy and authenticity. Unlike memorized techniques or rigid scripts, responding to cues requires you to be fully present in the moment and open to feedback, both verbal and nonverbal. This level of engagement turns intimacy into a dynamic, interactive exchange rather than a one-sided effort. It fosters a connection that feels reciprocal and deeply satisfying for both people involved. When you become attuned to your partner's responses, you gain insight into their unique preferences. Everyone experiences pleasure differently, and what might be electrifying for one person could feel uncomfortable or neutral for another. By observing their reactions, you learn what excites and delights them specifically. This personal knowledge is invaluable because it allows you to customize your approach in real time, enhancing the intensity and authenticity of the experience. One of the first things to notice are the small, often subtle signs that indicate pleasure or discomfort. For example, changes in breathing can be a powerful indicator. A partner who is breathing more deeply or rapidly might be feeling heightened arousal, while shallow or irregular breaths could suggest tension or uncertainty. Paying attention to these shifts gives you clues about when to intensify or soften your actions. It also signals when to pause or check in if something doesn't seem quite right. Facial expressions offer another rich source of feedback. A partner's eyes, smiles, or frowns can communicate volumes without a word being spoken. When you see their eyes close in bliss, or a relaxed, satisfied smile spread across their face, you know you're on the right track. Conversely, a furrowed brow, tightened jaw, or distant gaze might signal discomfort or distraction. Observing these expressions helps you adjust your technique to better align with their comfort and pleasure. Body language is perhaps the most comprehensive cue of all. How your partner moves, where they place their hands, and how their muscles respond can tell you a great deal about their experience. For instance, if they lean into your touch or arch their back, it's often a sign of enjoyment and invitation to continue. If they pull away, tense up, or seem stiff, it may indicate discomfort or a desire for a change. Being sensitive to these physical signals allows you to modulate your movements, pressure, and pace in a way that feels more harmonious and attuned. Sounds are also incredibly informative. The noises your partner makes, their moans, sighs, or even quiet murmurs, are expressions of pleasure and encouragement. Listening carefully to these sounds can help you gauge when to maintain intensity or when to slow down. At the same time, silence or sudden quietness might be a sign to check in or shift gears. Respecting these auditory cues deepens the connection and creates a shared rhythm between you and your partner. Adjusting your approach based on these cues is an act of care and respect. It shows that you value your partner's experience and are willing to be flexible rather than rigid. This mindset fosters trust and vulnerability, allowing both partners to relax more fully and enjoy the moment without pressure or performance anxiety. When your partner feels seen and heard on this level, it enhances their comfort and openness, making the experience more pleasurable and emotionally meaningful. In practice, responding to your partner's cues can take many forms. It might mean changing the speed or pressure of your touch to match their reactions. If you notice they respond positively to lighter, gentler movements, you can soften your approach accordingly. Conversely, if firmer or more deliberate actions elicit stronger reactions, you can confidently adjust to meet that need. This ongoing feedback loop creates a flow where both partners feel in sync, almost like a dance where each movement naturally follows the other. It's also important to recognize when your partner's cues indicate the need for a different technique altogether. For example, if a particular motion or area seems to cause discomfort or disinterest, it's a clear signal to explore alternatives. This might mean shifting focus to a different spot, trying a new pattern, or simply asking what feels best. Being adaptable and open to change demonstrates emotional intelligence and a genuine desire to please and connect. Another key aspect of paying attention to cues is knowing when to pause and check in verbally. While many cues are nonverbal, clear communication helps clarify what your partner enjoys and what they might want more or less of. Phrases like, "Does this feel good?" or "Tell me if you want me to slow down," invite your partner to share their preferences openly. This dialogue complements your observation skills and builds a foundation of mutual trust and understanding. Tuning into cues also means being mindful of your own actions and how they affect your partner. Sometimes it's not just about what you do but how you do it. The rhythm, timing, and intention behind your moves. When you're conscious of these factors, you can fine-tune your approach to create more pleasure and intimacy. This awareness elevates your ability to respond to cues from a place of genuine connection rather than routine or habit. Moreover, paying attention to cues helps you anticipate your partner's needs and desires before they have to express them. As you become more practiced at reading subtle signals, you can develop a kind of intuitive understanding that enhances the flow and spontaneity of the encounter. This intuitive connection deepens emotional intimacy and builds anticipation, which often intensifies pleasure for both partners. Respecting your partner's cues also means honoring their boundaries and consent. Sometimes a cue may be a gentle indication that something isn't working or is uncomfortable. Being responsive means you're willing to stop, slow down, or change course without hesitation. This respect for boundaries is fundamental to creating a safe and trusting environment where both partners feel free to express themselves without fear of judgment or pressure. Attention to cues doesn't just apply during the act itself. It extends to the entire context of your relationship. Being attuned to your partner's moods, energy levels, and emotional state outside of the bedroom can influence how you approach intimacy. Recognizing when they might need more tenderness or when they're in the mood for something more adventurous allows you to tailor your connection in ways that feel thoughtful and considerate. Building the skill of paying close attention to cues requires practice and patience. It involves quieting your own mind and distractions so you can be fully present. It means setting aside assumptions or preconceived ideas about what should happen and instead focusing on what is actually happening between you and your partner. This presence is the foundation of all meaningful connection. When you commit to tuning in deeply to your partner's responses, you open the door to a more fulfilling and joyous experience. It fosters a dynamic where pleasure is co-created rather than prescribed. This collaborative process enhances intimacy because it acknowledges that both partners are active participants with unique needs and desires. It's worth noting that the process of paying attention and adjusting is ongoing. What feels amazing one day might feel different another day, influenced by countless factors including mood, stress, health, and emotional state. By staying receptive and flexible, you maintain a vibrant and evolving connection that keeps intimacy fresh and exciting. In addition to physical and emotional cues, some partners may also communicate their desires through more subtle or personal signals that you learn over time. These can include particular phrases, looks, or even rituals that hold special meaning. Being attentive means recognizing and honoring these unique expressions and integrating them into your shared experience. The ability to respond to cues also reflects emotional intelligence and empathy. It shows that you are not only aware of your partner's pleasure, but also sensitive to their feelings and needs. This level of care nurtures a deeper emotional bond, which in turn amplifies physical pleasure. When partners feel emotionally connected, their sexual experiences become more meaningful and fulfilling. Furthermore, when you're attentive to your partner's cues, it reduces the chances of misunderstandings or discomfort. You create a space where feedback is welcomed and acted upon, preventing frustration or dissatisfaction. This open exchange promotes a healthy sexual relationship built on trust, respect, and mutual enjoyment. Developing this skill can also empower you to take more initiative with confidence, knowing that you have the tools to gauge and adapt to your partner's desires. This confidence fosters greater spontaneity and creativity, making each encounter unique and tailored to your evolving connection. Overall, paying close attention to your partner's cues and adjusting your approach accordingly transforms intimacy from a routine or mechanical act into a vibrant, shared experience of discovery and pleasure. It cultivates a deeper understanding, stronger emotional connection, and heightened physical enjoyment that benefits both partners in profound ways.